Yo, 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 man, it's going for the gusto. It's the podcast, man. Y'all already know who I got with me. I got Case of Casino, I got Boom Bam Bonanza, and I got Scrabbles on them paddles, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to know how y'all feeling today. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tell me how y'all feeling today, man. How y'all feeling?
Long day at work, but it's all right, man. We here, man. We lit. We gonna make it
I
happen.
feel it.
Shout out, turn up for my boy. Scrabble them all. We gonna make that happen, but we had to drop this good content for y'all boys first, man.
Hey man, you feeling good out here today, man? It was a good day today, man. Sun was out, sun was shining. Got no complaints on here today, man. Hey man, but last night I felt my baby kick, y'all.
Hey,
I
that's
hey
real. That's
hey, I
real.
felt my baby kick last night,
It's
bro.
a
It
different.
was it
Hey,
was like a
wait,
little.
wait,
It was.
wait till they box you in the mouth. For real, bro. Wait
Hey,
till they box you in the mouth.
hey, man, I'm gonna keep it going, man. Your boy Young over here, man. Square on the pad was feeling great today. You know how we doing. Hey, man, welcome to the podcast. Let's get this thing started, man. Rock it off.
Word, man. So, man, we're going to start this thing off with the quarterback matchup, man. I'm going to pass it to Boom Bam Bonanza on that one.
Okay, where so all right, y'all boys. A couple of quarterback matchups that stuck out to me. These are three I just kind of want to touch on. I want to get y'all opinion on it. So we gonna go like this. Of course, your boys are Commanders fans, so I got to talk about Carson Wentz versus Trevor Lawrence.
Woo!
We got to talk about Trey Lance and Justin Fields. I know it's going to be a lot to say about that. And then Russell Wilson versus Geno. So I'm gonna start with my thoughts on Geno. I thought Geno was solid. I was surprised when he was even named the starter in week one in general, but he did surprisingly good, man. He took care of the football. He didn't turn it over. No interceptions, which is a good thing. And he stayed within the game. He didn't try to do too much. He didn't do too little. He stayed within the game. I thought Russ looked a little uncomfortable. He checked the ball down a little bit too much. It didn't feel like really Russ. It feel like he's probably still learning the offense a little bit. And the coach don't seem to trust him. Like, I don't know why you don't go for it on 4th and 5. So, what y'all boys think about that one first?
Hold on. I gotta go first on this
Uh-oh.
one. Hold
All
on.
right.
Take over, Queso.
Russell Wilson. I'm gonna read some stats. 69%, 340 yards passing.
Now,
340.
Yeah,
That don't sound like no check downs to me. It sounded like he was pushing the ball down the field.
well, I'm going to say this, though. I'm going to say this. A lot of times they was playing from behind. They was behind the sticks a lot. Javonte fumbled the ball and Melvin Gordon fumbled the ball. So that's why Geno numbers don't look as comparable to, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't have to move the ball as much down the field. And Seattle's defense played great Monday night. So that has to be thought about as well.
Man,
So that's probably the reason why those numbers don't look as great for Geno. But Russ had to push the ball down the field. And then a couple times that, you know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying?
hey, man,
Yeah.
punch in real quick. Listen, check this out, your boy. Hey, my boy Gino did have a good game, but understand this: that he was backing up really far from the pocket. And understand with a lot of defensive other teams, that's not going to be a great thing. Now, don't get me wrong. Like some of those throws, you know what I'm saying, could have been a little bit. Like, you come against those better defensive backups, backing up that far in the pocket is not going to be the, and we know that. But I do say that him starting and him producing the way he did was way better than what we expected from Geno. Now, understand this. Russell Wilson. We cannot forget who Russell Wilson is. Maybe it was those pregame, maybe it was the first game jitters. You know what I'm saying? Everybody come against those, you know what I'm saying? At the same time. So it's only week one. So let's try to see what we actually can see what the production is outside of that.
No, so listen, respect. New coach, new system. I'm really tripping on it. I'm just saying, man, like it was something that kind of caught my eye. He didn't look fully comfortable in the offense
Right.
yet. So that's why that matchup really sticks out to me. I really want to go to Trey Lance and Justin Fields though,
Whew, man, the
because
monsoon
so
that Soldier
so
Field, boy.
hey,
so so
hey.
So a lot of y'all probably don't know, but me and Soren, we've been talking about Justin Fields for a long time. I thought he looked pretty bad in the preseason. He threw a couple of ducks out there, but this game really impressed me. I know. Most people are gonna say, look at the weather, but for me personally, I think winning a game in those conditions takes a lot of grit, way to stick with it. He made 2 big throws later on down in the game where the weather didn't affect him, and a lot of the thing about Trey Lance that I gotta talk about is that he didn't make those throws. And I know a lot of people say, man, but the weather's bad. But if one man can make the throws when the weather's bad, you gotta hold other man accountable. So Justin Fields made some big time throws late in the game. It was late in the game when you know, for y'all to play football, when the field is wet, the later in the game, the worse it is. You know, so shout out to him, man. Like I was relatively impressed to do it in that kind of weather, to stay consistent, to not get frustrated at everybody sliding around, to stay focused. That really stuck out to me.
Man,
Now I want to go ahead.
let me hit that one first. Hey, man, listen. The ultimate in-game slide. Let me talk about that. The definition of that is mean weather the storm. Justin Fields weathered the storm. You hear me?
Yeah.
Like, whenever you got a player that can weather the storm, you got a player that's going to say, hey, under any condition, I need to be trained and ready to play in. And I believe if you're going to play in the NFL, you got to be ready for any conditions. Hey, listen, we not seeing Aaron Rodgers have a good game in the snow. So let's not act like we never seen that. So, you know, for Justin Fields to do what he did in that rain, on top of the field being a complete mess, man, that was great, man. We honor that. Good up, Justin Fields.
Man, hold on. I'm gonna push back. I'm pushing back. Because the man Trey Lance, that was his first real football since what, 3 years ago, something like that. North Dakota State.
Well,
when was his last snap?
not necessarily, but go ahead.
This man
He started one game last season.
Man,
I think he started one game.
And he
He
played
got some
inside
burn
a dome.
within them
This
games
man played
too, though.
one game. He came from a school that played inside a dome. He's not used to no sloppy, nasty conditions like that. He's not an outdoorsy quarterback. Yeah, he's more like a Peyton Manning. I'm about to play inside a dome, and I'm gonna do what I do. And then back on the flip side with the San Fran defense, the penalties, the breakdown in defense, the breakdown in the coverages between the safeties and the
I was
corners.
gonna speak on that too, because that was the
Between the
reason why he
safeties and
got
the
the
corners,
first
it was
touchdown.
terrible. I mean, yeah, as a quarterback, Justin Fields, he did what he needed to do. He decided that rollout left, that 51-yard bomb. I mean, hey, a quarterback needs to read the field. He read the field on that. You can't really blame him for that, but you can blame that San Fran defense. Because when you look at the numbers are pretty much the same, to be honest. But as you said earlier, you're right. Justin, he made the throws when he needed to make them. He got to the end zone when he needed to. He led his team down the field. You got to work through the penalties. San Fran's going to come out they're going to come out on the good side in a lot of games. Trey just had like a bad first game.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say on that, man. So we can get on through to the next team.
Okay.
Shoot.
All right. So the last one is going to be I watched the Commanders. We played against Jags. So look, I'm gonna start off talking about Trevor Lawrence because I know a lot of people probably thought I was gonna get on here.
Wait.
I mean, we took the win.
You talking about sunshine? Let's hear about it, bro.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So listen, Trevor Lawrence played a bit of a better game than the stats suggest. He missed a couple of throws that should have been, like, one throw would have been a touchdown. He just flat out missed 2 or 3 big time throws. But as he got more comfortable in the game, Travis Etienne had a couple of drops that should have been a walking touchdown.
Tell me about.
So I think the numbers was a little bit better than what people give him credit for. But when I talk about my boy Carson Wentz, right? He threw the 2 interceptions. One was off a screen. That one is, when a quarterback does an interception off a screen, it's kind of wonky. It's a lot going on there at the moment. Like, the linemen don't want to get like, an illegal man downfield or something called, so they're playing a certain way. Yeah. And I just think it was a bad play call. The first interception was egregious. He stayed the man down, but I think overall he made some big time throws when they mattered too. We went down. He hit Terry on a deep one down the sideline. He put the one for Jahan right where it needed to be, where only he could get it, and Jahan also did a good job on that. So, quiet as his kept, he did throw for 4 touchdowns at 300 yards. I think the only other quarterback on the day that had anything close to that would have been Patrick Mahomes, who who threw for over 300, and he had 5 touchdowns. So, the picks are still the picks. Carson Wentz still make the Carson Wentz mistakes, but the good outweighed the bad, I think, in this game overall. So,
AJ,
All right, man.
which I got
I'm
for
gonna
you.
pick up where you left off
go
with
ahead.
Trevor
Go ahead.
Second year player. Moved on from Urban. Got Dougie P in as the coach. He still kind of looked like old Trevor Lawrence a little, and then you can see the progression from year 1 to year 2. But he still makes some pretty like bad decisions on certain throws. I really like the connection between him and Christian Kirk. You saw that all game. 6 catches, 117 yards. That was a good outlook for him. And as you get down through the course of the season, I'm pretty sure he's going to keep capitalizing on his mistakes, and he hopefully turns that into strengths. But as you said, Carson Wentz, veteran quarterback, he made some bad throws, but he made all the right ones when it mattered, especially going down the stretch. So yeah, man, I guess I got to chalk that one up to Carson.
Shoot, man.
So, what you got for me?
Shoot, man, I ain't really got too much to say. Like, y'all was able to watch those games, so I wasn't really able to give it a real good breakdown for it for myself. But I mean, from the way how y'all explain it, I'm gonna take y'all word for it, man. Because from the highlights, he made the deep ball down there in the cover 2, on the right side to Terry, and then he made another deep ball in the man, it looked like it was a man high look to Jahan on the corner of the end zone as well. So then, the only thing I could say is that I was out of that game, I was more impressed with Derek Forrest and Trayvon Walker. Those were the two that really surprised me out that game because he had a good game. He made Carson Wentz make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? And then Derek Forrest made Trevor Lawrence make a mistake. He made him pay for that deep ball down the sideline, and he made him pay for it. So from my standpoint, I mean that's the only thing I can really take from that game because I wasn't able to fully watch it, but I feel like that was a good game for what y'all told me and what we talked about on Sunday.
All right, Sam, go
Man, I'm
ahead.
gonna hit this real short and sweet. Hey, listen, Carson Wentz is not a free quarterback. Listen, and I respect that from him. I respect that from all dynamics. I respect that. When you got a quarterback, I mean, just compare it to just like Matt Stafford, hey, I'm gonna throw him regardless. And if I throw a pick, guess what? I'm gonna still come back in the game and still throw it again. Like when you have that mentality, that lets me know as a veteran quarterback, like, yeah, you might have picked me off that time, but that doesn't make me feel any different from what I'm capable of. You know what I'm
But
saying?
say,
And what I would say for Trevor Lawrence is like he still developed those good characteristics making those safe throws. So like it's just kind of like either I'm gonna take the chance or but also you got to understand the rush too. The rush was different. The rush patterns was definitely different for both of them. So we got to understand like
Mm-hmm.
you or the quarterbacks. Like if you ever stood behind the defensive line, the offensive line, had the defensive line rushing, you understand that it can cut off particular views and what you see. You know what I'm saying? So understand those patterns. But other than that, I think both of those guys really had a challenging day. Yeah.
word.
Well, oh, you got something? You got something to
Oh
finish?
no, I ain't.
All right. Well. Listen, y'all, boys. We gonna get on through to the next thing. I want to pass it back to Soren because I know he had a couple of matchups that I think stuck out to him. So he wanted to touch on those real quick. So go ahead,
So
Soren.
man, I like to touch on Daniel Jones versus Ryan Tannehill matchup, right? So listen, I think the thing that saved Daniel Jones in this game was the running of Saquon Barkley. Now Saquon Barkley had a great game, and I think he showed out in that game as well. But Tannehill, he played well too, particularly, but at the same time is that he also was playing from behind in a sense. But they also had the lead, so they was heavy on the run game. And then when they got behind, it was kind of tough to revamp up their offense because they was already in cruise control mode from the most part of that game. But the thing I would like the most that I would say about that game is that how Daniel Jones and the New York Giants kept playing football despite being down like 14-0 halfway through the third quarter. They continue to keep punching the ball with the run game. And then when they finally got the matchup what they wanted in the pass game, Daniel Jones made the great play he made a play. You know what I'm saying? They caught Christian Fulton looking in the backfield because they was running so consistent. Uh, Sterling Shepard ran the deep post and beat him in the man to man. So it was just like, hey, you guys keep your eyes on the man. It's easier said than done, but you know that play decided the game. And then also with that being said, is that Ryan Tannehill could have kept going to the well a little bit more with Treylon Burks a little bit from what I saw. But they was falling in love with the crossing game, and I think the Giants realized that, and so they started trying to man that up and starting to try to do little brackets over the middle from what I saw, and then they had a backside dig coming, but Ryan Tannehill didn't have the time to really make that type of throw at that point in time of the game as well. So it's just that he played well. The numbers wise for that game is Daniel Jones threw for 188, Ryan Tannehill threw for 266. You know what I mean? And then also Daniel Jones threw a pick, and he threw that pick in the red zone. So you would have thought that would have decided the game, but it really didn't because it happened like right after they got the ball, like I want to say in the middle of the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken, as well when they started making that comeback. But the Giants defense helped them come back in that game, and that's all. That's one thing I can really say. And Saquon really ran the ball very well. But I like them both in that game, even though that the 188 doesn't look great. It's just the fact that when he needed to make the throws, he made the throws, and it wasn't a lot of them. I can tell you that much. But he made throws, and I just want to see what y'all feelings was on that game.
Hey, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was not watching that game.
So look,
I saw Giants in Tennessee. I was like, boy, Derrick Henry.
You hit him with the Dion said, "Ain't nobody care." Eh?
And Sam, don't even sit here and talk about, I watched the game. You ain't watched that game either.
Bruh, I ain't gonna lie. I watched that game.
no, listen. I wanted to pose a question because I don't really have much of a rebuttal as much as I have a question, right? Y'all think y'all think Tennessee got a lack of weapons at the receiver position?
Personally, I don't think so because I don't think so. Me personally, from watching that game, I think they got what they want.
Let me say this.
Sam lying, y'all. He lying.
I'm not lying, bro.
He ain't watching the game. Stop.
You know what? You need some wine. I can get you some. But listen, because you need to wind down a little bit. Listen, I think for a fact that Tennessee relies their heart and soul on Derrick Henry. I don't want to say they have a wide receiver.
Oh
yeah, but he's back. Right.
I do want to say that they have a dependency problem, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, hey, let's depend on this run game the whole time. Now, don't get me wrong. I come from an organization where we depended on the run game and it worked in our favor in certain predicaments. But
only sometimes.
I don't think we had enough exposure. I don't think we had enough exposure for these wide receivers to be able to identify that. So that's what I'm gonna just leave it at. Like, I really don't think we had enough exposure.
I'm gonna speak on another matchup that I had liked the most. Jalen Hurts and Jared Goff, man. So Jared Goff played too well in the beginning, but he started to ramp it up in here at the end of the game. So that's the one thing I say about him. He threw for 215, had 2 touchdowns and an interception. Interception came from him trying to make a play, and then it wasn't even his fault on the interception. That's the one thing I chalk that up to. It just the tip drill on the defensive end. Let's go back to the residence with that one. You know what I mean? That's what happened with James Barberry when he got his hands on it. And Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts didn't have any touchdowns on the day, but I feel like he threw the ball pretty well. 243. Jalen Hurts ain't really been throwing that well. Well, I wouldn't say that many yards in a while, I would say. He's normally like 200, 220, 225 in that range. So the extra added, 10, 15 yards, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? But I would say this. I feel like there was a dependency on AJ Brown to make the one-on-one, beat his man one-on-one instead of the ball being distributed around a little bit. Because if we look at it, AJ Brown had 155 yards on the day.
Yeah, he did.
So that's half of his yardage right there. So let's say if we take away AJ Brown, is he still gonna be able to throw the pigskin around? I would want to say yes, but I just want to see what y'all feedback was on that.
I did not watch the game. I can't tell you nothing. I didn't watch it.
I speak on it. So, Jared Goff, which I kind of like. I thought coming into the season that he was super duper like getting like pushed out before the season started, and I think because he just played on a bad team.
Right.
But I do think Detroit is solid. I don't think it's one of them situations where the Eagles' defense is just that bad. I think Jared Goff started to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple of drops. Amon St. Brown dropped one that could have been a big play.
Yeah. I think he had like 4 drops on the day.
Yeah, he dropped a couple big. Jared Goff played that game relatively well once he got going. Jalen Hurts started off slow too. He was like 0 for 6 on his first couple of throws, and then they started playing man coverage to like contain him because he started running, and then he just started force feeding AJ Brown. I don't know if any other team just going to just play the kind of coverage that they played on him because he was making a living like with the 10 to 15 yard digs and the out routes. He was making a living in that area, but Jalen Hurts did not look too well, like as far as scanning the field when he was in the pocket, scanning around. It was almost like, oh, if AJ Brown ain't there, I'm about to tuck it down and run. So like, it seemed like it was a regression for him more than a progression. But I can see why the numbers look slightly inflated because it was he forced it. AJ Brown came down with a couple of balls, which make you say, all right, yeah, that's a good receiver.
Right.
That's the number one I got right there, so I'll force it in there. But that's my takeaway from that.
Hey, Rick, I think
What? Lying again.
you covered it up.
Sam lying again.
You covered
Sam lying
The
again.
man talk, man.
Sam
The
ain't
man
watched
ain't
that
lying.
game either.
What you talk about, Chief?
You want me to get my bartender to pour you up something? Because I think you.
Yeah, he needs something in his system.
Hey, man, we can move on. Hey, we move on to the next topic real quick. I want to talk about this real quick. It's not really a quarterback matchup. It's really in regards to, I know we discussed Carson Wentz earlier, and I just want to discuss Matt Ryan within the coach.
He just want to talk about his team, man.
Man,
He just
listen,
wanna talk about his team.
we're going to talk about the trend.
Just say it. Just say you want to talk about your team. Just say it.
I'm saying it, man. Listen real quick. That's a big transition within that organization. That is a really big transition at that organization. Matt Ryan come from a team where Atlanta has been disappointed so many times within that organization because they had the league and they always managed to lose the league at the end of the game. And and everybody point fingers at Matt Ryan, right? But guess what? This time, Matt Ryan in this last game, it was vice versa. Colts didn't have the lead. It was down 320. Colts was on the verge of coming back. I mean,
I like how you turn that around.
Sadly, the game turned into, a tie. But hey, that's a big performance for a guy that threw over 300 yards. You know what I'm saying? And also, let's not forget, he didn't do it by himself because JT is JT.
Man, we about to get on through, man.
JT
we about to talk about
JT is JT, but
hey, man, you're done.
I'll be done.
You're done.
But let me say something about Carson Wentz real quick. Let me say something about Carson Wentz.
You're done.
Let me say something about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz finished the game and won the game. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
The man just wanted to talk about his team. That was it. Let's go to the next topic. Because that was all. That was
so
it.
we gonna talk about who showed up and who stayed in the locker room on Sunday, man.
Man, let's talk. Let's talk about.
So these the players. These the players I got. I got Leonard Fournette and Cordell Patterson, bro. That boy showed up, man.
Hey, you know what? I tell you who showed up. Shout out to Cam Hayward and Minka Fitzpatrick, especially once they lost T.J. Watt. Yeah. Hey, Minka was holding it down on the back end and at the center field.
I watched that one.
Yo.
I watched that one.
Yeah, me and Sam was on the phone while we was watching that one.
Yeah, we
man, I got some. I
talked
got something for y'all too,
that whole game now.
Hey, shout out to the whole Dolphins defense, man. The Dolphins played defense. They made the Patriots look pedestrian. Not that the Patriots got a ton of weapons, but the Dolphins, I didn't expect it. The Dolphins played solid defense all around. Like, they got after the quarterback a little bit. The Patriots don't drop back a lot. They don't really do a lot of 5-step drops. So if you get after the quarterback, you get the pressure up the middle. I can respect it.
Hey, man, you talk about the Dolphins? Hey, I got one person in particular. I'm talking about Tua. Tua. He came in. He showed out 69%. Man, 23 for 33. Man, he had 270 yards in a TD. That boy showed up for his team on Sunday.
Hey,
man, so
talk about just real quick. Just talk about your boy. Listen, that grab. Tyreek Hill grab? Boy,
that was a prayer. That was a prayer. That was a prayer, bro. I'm not about to congratulate that catch because that shit was a prayer, bro. That was a complete prayer. A prayer.
Hey,
Tua said, "Hey, I'm gonna just go throw it to the $200 man."
Hey, James, let me ask you.
Hey, he's somewhere in it.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. When you pray, you expect your blessings to come down, right? That boy blessings came down. That boy blessings came down.
Stop it, bro. You gotta be stopped, bro. You got to be stopped.
Boy blessings came down. Hey, man. Hey, boom bam boomaski, man. Take us where we need to go, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, so all right, so I guess since we talked about who stepped out, we about to talk about who stayed in, and I'm gonna tell you who was in the house. Joe Burrow. He ain't gonna come outside, man.
No.
That man
been
in
the house, boy.
I watched that one.
The man been.
I watched that one,
dude. Listen,
go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Pittsburgh defense. Listen, Pittsburgh defense was swarming, but hey, man, that's just uncalled for. Some of them. He threw 4.
He threw 4. But I'm holding up the number 3 for later. I'm gonna keep the number 3 up for later.
But yeah, man. And them the Bengals offense stayed inside. I don't know the offensive line. The offensive line must have been on vacation. They've been in Cancun.
They still been in Cabo.
They've been in Cancun because
looking at that money in that bank account. Wait, all that money on that offensive line. Look at Larry Carlson looking like looking like a fool out there. Talking about trying to block TJ Watt. This man ain't been doing nothing out there, boy.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, and with that being said, y'all keep this about and bring this up later. With that being said, the Bengals still could have won that game. So
hey man, I got somebody who said in Mr. Burnt Toast himself. We gonna take it back to Thursday.
Oh no, don't do that man like that, bro. You ain't right, boy.
Cooked. Hey,
stop, bro.
Oxtails. Y'all have oxtails.
Oxtail,
fall off the bone. That boy got cooked.
Stop it.
Cooked.
Stop it,
bro.
That man been in the zone. That man been in the zone.
Come on, man. You gotta stop it, bro.
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, Sam. What you got for us? I think we lost him, so we're gonna get on through to the next.
I'm gonna say this. Kyler Murray, and Money Mitch stayed in the locker room. I'm gonna tell you why.
He ain't even studied this week.
That man. Tell me about it.
You ain't right, bro. You had to bring that man contract into this, bro. That's nasty. But I'm gonna tell you this though, man. He did not play too well. I don't got the exact numbers, but I got this. I got 193 yards, and his average per attempt was 5.7, and he had 2 touchdowns. So I'll say that. And then Money Mitch did not do a thing. Money Mitch ain't do nothing to help out the Steelers at all on offense. And that is very concerning for me, even though that's not my team. But at the same time, we all can say this at the same time is that he's not asked to do much in that offense either. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to put all of that on him. But a lot of times it was just like, man, that Bengals defense was getting to him. But at the same time, it's like you got to make a play at a certain point and just play football. I know it's easier said than done. I know you hear that you're gonna hear that a lot, viewers from us, because we understand that it ain't that easy just to go out and just do some jobs. You know what I'm saying? So I say that. But who else you got? Anybody else got anything else to say on that?
Yeah, no, I got one last one. CD Lamb, been on house arrest.
Yeah. He was in the house.
They thought they told me he was gonna be a number one receiver. That was on house arrest.
That man say house arrest.
Yeah, he really can't come outside.
Yeah, it was real bad for him. It was real bad for him. Yeah, it was real bad.
Hey, but matter of fact, y'all boys, that's actually the perfect transition because we're going to talk about all the teams, speaking of all these players who didn't come outside, who did come outside. We're going to talk about the teams
who need to hit this panic button. Who need
panic
button?
Panic button.
Week one, y'all might call it an over-exaggeration. It's only 1 week. That's true. We're not saying these teams can't bounce back. We're just going to talk about like what they looking like right now up front. So I'm going to give y'all my 4 because I got 4 of them that got to hit the panic button. There's 4 of them, and it's all for specific reasons. So I'm gonna run through the reasons after I do this, and then we're going to keep it rocking. So my first one is the Steelers, all right? My second one is the Cowboys. My third one is the Patriots, and my last one is the Packers. And so I'm gonna work from back to front, right? So let's talk about the Packers. Aaron Rodgers got no faith in his receivers, and his lack of faith is going to make them have less faith in him.
Right.
So with that being said, is they're gonna talk about he just being hard on them. This and that. They're young. They look up to him. They probably idolize him, and his lack of trust in them is gonna make them have lack of trust in him. And that offense ain't gonna get no better doing that. I saw AJ Dillon get the bulk of the carry, so it got me a little worried about Aaron Jones. I don't really know like how they can get him incorporated.
That's fine
in the
with
offense.
me.
And
I ain't gonna lie. That's fine with me.
Yeah, fantasy. But with that being said, though, that's what they're gonna have to worry about because the Packers always been a pretty decent defensive team. They never was great, but Aaron Rodgers could hide that by doing what he was doing on the offensive end. So they always look like a pretty good defensive team. So now I'm gonna run to the Patriots. For the Patriots, it's just all offense. The offense don't seem like they can really get it together.
They don't even got an offensive coordinator.
Right. Well, they didn't have
an offensive. Do that now. We can't.
Who?
We can't do that.
Who is
Matt
it?
Patricia is the offensive coordinator.
A defensive coordinator.
He's technically but geez, that shouldn't really matter. I think it's just an overload for the Patriots. There's so much going on. They didn't have a chance to really retool the offense in the offseason. Yeah. What's going to happen?
I think Josh Allen was a big. I'm not trying to cut you off. I think Josh McDaniels was a big factor into that offense. I would say that.
No, 100%.
I would say that because they look lost. 100%. They look like a deer in headlights on offense now, for real.
But I do expect them to get better because I do expect them to still play defense and be able to run the ball.
Right.
And so they're going to win a couple of games off controlling the clock. Now I'm going to go to the Cowboys. The Cowboys, I would just say injuries, but the Cowboys lost a lot. Like we said, CD Lamb been on house arrest, so you can't really do much about that. That getting hurt, that's already bad. Micah complained about getting hit, and he plays football. Ooh. I don't know what's going on with the Cowboys. Ooh. They already have they lost Tyron Smith before the season started. They just got it's rolling over on them. It's a bunch of turmoil. So we'll see if they can figure it out. And then last but not least, the Steelers. The Steelers is probably the most surprising one to y'all. But I'm gonna tell you something.
I'm not gonna.
If you get a certain amount of turnovers and a certain amount of sacks, you should be winning a game by 21 points.
Oh, absolutely.
You should not be in a head-to-head game with all of those. Plus you scored on defense too. So you had a pick six right? On top of you got all these turnovers, and you got all these pressures and sacks, but the game is tied in the fourth quarter. That's a sign of a team that can't get it done.
Mitch was in the locker room.
No, yeah,
he got it.
Hey, listen.
That's why I had him about who didn't show up, because with that type of lead, with that type of, like, your defense is playing that, you gotta be up by 20.
Field position.
You have
right. You got the field position.
But
you got the turnovers.
And so that goes against to say this though. The Bengals defense is a problem, regardless of the fact that matter if Money Mitch played bad or not. The Bengals defense ain't nothing to play with this year. Now, I ain't gonna hold you down on that.
No, but you can keep going because I'm about to pass it to you. But that's my 4 teams that should hit the panic button because one side of the ball or the other just don't seem to have it going on.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to you.
Bet. So I got the Arizona Cardinals, the Bengals, and the 49ers, and we agree on the Cowboys for sure. We agreed on that for sure.
I think we all agree on the Cowboys. All of them.
The Cardinals and the 49ers?
I got the Cardinals, 49ers, and the Bengals. Because the Bengals, they lost T. Higgins. T. Higgins had a concussion. So ain't no telling. I mean, you could say a week. He might not do well throughout the week, this week in practice. You know what I'm saying? Because, we're recording this on Wednesday at 7:46 p.m. Just for the viewers that need to know. So it don't look crazy if it drops Thursday or whatever the case may be. But back to saying that is that I think that if T. Higgins doesn't play this Sunday, I think we'll have an issue, and then that'll probably just be for this week. But the Cardinals, they got to get back to the drawing board.
They got no pass rush. They pass rush stayed inside. That's who else was inside the house.
And then also, with that being said, J.J. Watt wasn't playing in that game because he's dealing with a calf injury or lower back or something. Don't quote me on that as well. But I got the 49ers on there because we all know Jimmy G got his contract reconstructed to have no trade clause and to get the $6.8 million. Now, the reason why I say that because Trey Lance didn't play as well. I also chalked it up to the monsoon that he was playing in. But at the same time, his contemporary Justin Fields also didn't play too well, but he got the job done. Now, also, I got to add in the fact that Elijah Mitchell got hurt and he's out for 8 weeks. He got an MCL sprain. So, with that being said, can Jeff Wilson come in and be that lead back for 8 weeks and then possibly be the lead role for the rest of the season? And can Trey Lance turn around after a week 1 loss? What's your thoughts on that?
I think Trey Lance.
Williams.
Go ahead.
I just want to say Trent Williams. That's my thoughts.
I like it.
You got Trent, baby.
Nah, man. Trey can definitely turn around, man. This is his first season being the star quarterback, the feature, the guy. He's the guy. First game, I think it was just like, I said, the conditions, first game jitters. But we'll see what he's about as the following games, pick up week 2, week 3, week 4. And then we can probably give like a more accurate description of of who he's going to be in this league. But that's yet to be seen, and we will see it in the next upcoming weeks.
Right. Scrabble?
Yeah, go ahead. You got a lot to say.
Hey, man, listen, I was going for a little minute, but excuse my technical difficulties because the brother trying to get it together. And everything I got to get together, I got to figure out how I'm going to do it. But listen, I'm going to tell you 3 people that stayed inside and was rocking their baby and didn't understand it was their time to let the football go between the pylons. And talk to me nice when I say this. McPherson, what are you doing?
What? That wasn't his fault. That wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault, though.
Hey, listen.
Bad snap. Bad snap. Bad hold. That wasn't his fault. Don't do that.
Hey.
Don't do that.
Hey. No. You right, Cheese. You right, Cheese. You right.
You can't say don't do that around talking about Jalen Ramsey staying in the house now. You can't do that now.
The man was burnt toast. All right.
You can't do that
I
now.
ain't done. No, I ain't
done. Hey, Sam, keep on. Hold him in the row. Keep on.
Hey, I ain't done. I say, hey, listen, I don't care if he had to kick with the laces being up front. Hey, you better learn. But anyway, doggone, check this out.
You're going to be hurting, though.
Check this out. I'm going to talk about my Colts kicker, my own Colts kicker.
Hey, y'all
Boy,
wave off too.
if you don't fix those bifocals and kick that ball the way it's supposed to be kicked,
Hey, he can't.
ain't no way you miss that.
That boy off the team now. He don't fix or nothing. The boy
Y'all
off the
wave
team.
Hey,
those.
The man gone.
but I'm
Wave
telling you, he
dog.
stayed in the house. I'm telling you, he stayed inside. And then,
Hey, the coach said, yeah, they stay at home, bro. You ain't gonna come.
Who else?
I got one
Who else?
more,
Who else, Sam? Yeah.
bruh. Why I gotta see Boswell do the same thing? Listen,
A lot of kickers wouldn't do
This
that.
man.
Listen,
Yo.
Titans. Hey, listen, Ryan Tannehill drove them boys down the field, and Reggie Bullock missed that bit too. So, you know what I'm
I'm just
saying?
talking about these kickers. These kickers have made top headlines. If anybody want to be on CNN, it's these kickers.
Hey, Sam. Hey, Sam. Let's keep it rolling. Though. Give me who I need to hit the panic button while you at it.
Man, I think y'all boys hit it, man. I think the Cowboys definitely for sure, man. We got to see what this quarterback change is going to be like, especially with Dak being out the season. I also think, with the Bengals, I'm agreeing with James on the Bengals, in that aspect of everything, definitely got that. In regards to everybody else, man, it's just really week one, and everything else that's going on. So I don't want to really say too much, of pushing it, but I definitely think somebody's hand is close to pressing that button, close to week one, because there's a lot of injuries that's happening, and a lot of people are taking a lot of falls with early, and then some people didn't even play the beginning of the season, so it was just kind of like, you got to keep an eye on that things right there. So I just think that's really where I'm at with those dynamics. I just want to kind of just see, at least until like week 4 where we get at in regards to that.
All right, man. So I'm gonna wrap
All
it
right,
up.
man.
The team.
Yeah.
I got one team. I always got one team. That's all I need. The Rams. The Rams can hit that panic button. Man,
Why?
the prodigy.
Why?
The coach.
I'm gonna let you
man,
finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
Bro, dude, you the defending champs. You weren't supposed to be playing that bad first game of the season. You the defending champs. Even if you do lose, you lose by 3, you lose by 7, you lose by 10. You don't lose by that much. Come on now. You the defending champs. Matthew Stafford didn't look good. He didn't look good at all. The man was so discombobulated, so flustered. The protection, there was no protection up front. He was letting the pass rush get in. Von Miller, first play of the game, sack. Von Miller came through another time, sack. You got everybody that's rushing from all corners of defense. The man can't even get comfortable. The man up front protection is trash.
Bills is only sending 4-man pressures though.
It was trash. Say it with me.
Hey.
Say it again. It was trash. And then
Hey,
No,
we can save this for the next. We can save this for the next, but I want to ask the question because this is a determining factor.
all right.
Was Von Miller the determining factor? Save it for the next episode.
Hold on.
But listen, no, James. Let me go real quick. I want to comment on the Rams thing, right? I think the Rams psyched themselves out. They played too much zone coverage. You gotta play
Burnt toast.
You gotta play
He was
man.
burnt toast.
Oh man, you gotta stop. You can't.
you gotta
You
play,
can't.
man.
Little cheese. You can't. You like
no,
doing
but
that
the,
type of job, boy.
They lost Whitworth, man. Like that's a big loss, man. That's
Boy,
a
that
solid
left tackle, boy.
tackle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
you got and the thing is they didn't get no push. I don't think the Bills' defensive line is that good. The strength of their team is mainly the secondary. I don't think the defensive line that good, but they look pretty good.
No,
I don't really
no,
chalk
no.
up a lot on Thursday night football because of the way practices end up landing. I know you just coming off the offseason, but the way practices land, Thursday night football is always a toss up.
I'm not gonna say that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know I just cut you off, but my bad. Thursday night thing, I can say that after week 1, but coming up, you got a whole days to prepare for that.
Yeah, but the day, like, it throws you off your routine. So like if you want to practice special teams on Tuesday, now you practice that Saturday. Like it just throw off a rhythm. Like that's all I'm saying. I know you coming off the off season. I know you coming off the off season.
I get that.
I feel that, but I think the Rams. I don't think the Rams are as bad as they look per se. Like Stafford was force feeding
Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup, which was kind of nervous because you got Allen Robinson, but he got to build some rapport with him. So
Yeah, they got to. They all
but
got to
Jen,
be. They all
I'm
got
gonna
to
let you
be
go ahead and end it
in
off.
there. They all got to be in there eating the McGriddles in the morning, watching films because that's what Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford did last year. So Allen got to bring the McGriddles in the morning or the Chick-fil-A 10 piece mini chicken
Hey,
nuggets. You know,
hey, we might have to sponsor that for them boys. Hey,
you know
but
what I'm
check this
saying?
out, y'all guys. Hey, listen, great topics for the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and let my boy, you know what I'm saying, Queso, my boy, Sona, my boy Boom Bam Boonaski. Let y'all go ahead and doggone finish it off for the day now. You know, this is the podcast. This is the Going for the Gusto. You already know how we rocking, man. We got to go ahead and just keep it, you know what I'm saying, down and held it. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to our Clips channel. You know what I'm saying? It also got some good details in there where you catch us at our funniest moments. You know what I'm saying? So you know how we do it. But go ahead, man. So now let us know.
Man, shoot, man, it's the podcast, man. Sam, you already kind of did it for me, man. So you could have closed that
Yeah,
thing out just now, low key on the low. But you know what I'm saying? You know,
we're out
sliding
of
on the
here.
paddles. I got Queso and Mr. Bam himself, man. We catch y'all on the next one, y'all boy.
All right, man. Peace.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate it.
Squabble.